Right, hi. Sorry, everybody, the internet dropped. What I will do, as soon as I finish this reading, I will take the two videos and merge them together as well. So anybody coming on to this one, there was about half an hour beforehand, but during this time, I can't actually put it together. I want to carry on with what I'm doing, so there will be more. Everybody seems to be coming back on here. Let me know if you're there. And I am so sorry about that. I can't do anything about the internet connection. I don't know if there was some kind of spirit there, because Hendrik started going berserk as well. And that's been happening quite a lot lately as well. So we've got the little impish spirits there as well. So yeah, people are coming back, and I don't know where I was actually at with that. So what I have said is I will take these two videos and merge them together at as soon as I've finished this. We can hear you but not see you. Can you see me now? Yeah. I was at the quote. Did I actually finish reading the quote? Thank you for that, Dreamer. This is a good way to actually start this up again. So what I was, the quote that I'd said was, yeah, the fundamental thing that happened and the greatest calamity is not that there was no love or support. The greater calamity, which was caused by that first calamity, is that you lost the connection to your essence. That is much more important than whether your mother or father loved you or not. And this is it. This is what we're going through. You know, we're going through, this is why we've been shedding these layers. You know, we say that they're layers of us. They're not layers of us. They're layers of conditioning and untruths and falsities that we have been told from a very early age. So this is what the work is, okay? And it's not, you know, we all had, you know, we can all look at it and say, yeah, you know, I wasn't loved in this way, I wasn't loved in that way, but that doesn't matter now. It's actually so that we, you know, we start from now and we develop from now. I'm just going to shut this door 2 seconds. Oh, in, mister. Right. I'm so sorry. I really don't want to get to the point where I have to pre-record these, because I feel we lose a lot on them. So thank you. I appreciate you bearing with me with this. Right. So, like I say, this Taurus full moon, this is where we're at. We're almost at the end of the year, and we've done a lot of hard work, and it's been hard friggin' work. You know, it really has. But as this Taurus moon comes in on, is it Monday, Tuesday? As this comes in, like I say, we should have more strength than what we had at the beginning of the year. We should be more self-assured in who we are. You know, we've dropped the masks, we've dropped the role playing, we've dropped the pretense, you know, and now we're ready to actually, you know, step up and say, this is who I am. It's not about approval, it is about authenticity. And if we are not true to ourselves, we cannot be true to other people. So what that means is we're vibrating at an untrue level. So we are going to attract people who are at that level, because people can only meet us where we are at, in the same way we can only meet people where they're at as well. So this is a lot, this Taurus moon, and what has been coming up with this Scorpio moon is this fact of self-love. You know, do we really truly love ourselves in the way that we love others? You know, and this isn't about going, wow, look at me, look at how amazing I am. That is not self-love. You know, that is coming from a place of deep insecurity, these people that do that, you know. So what we need to look at here is, do we truly love ourselves, or have we been looking at areas and kind of supports from other people and validation from people to make us feel loved? And this is where we should be at, where we're actually not doing that anymore, where we're seeing that that hasn't been working for us, okay? Because the second we lean on somebody for support, our footing becomes unsteady. So it's when we stand on our own 2 feet, when we are grounded, when we are rooted, this is when we can have that stability that we need. Yes, when other people will come along, it's great to share with them, but we cannot rely on them for that, and we cannot rely on them for our stability. So this is what this Taurus full moon is about. It's shining a light on this. And, this is all about self-care. And what this is saying is you should now be at a level with the work that we've been doing where we can actually say, sorry, somebody's just messaging me there, that we can actually say that, self-care is, I'm sorry, I may love you, but that does not work for me, so I can't accept that. That is self-care. Having boundaries, having real strong boundaries. I'm sorry about this. I'm getting people messaging me. I'm getting people phoning me at the minute. I don't know what's going on. I'm currently in demand here, I think. So yes, so we're into this Taurus moon, okay? And this is a time where we can relax a little bit, okay? We can have this playfulness that we want. We've done the work. Now it should be time for recreation. Now is a time where we can look at our dreams and go, you know what, am I on the road to fulfilling them? Or have my dreams changed, or was I living somebody else's dream? So it's almost like we're needing, and bizarrely enough, this is what the time of the sixth sun talks about. It says, dream yourself awake. Okay, so this is what's happening for us. It's time for us to wake the fuck up, okay? Wake up to who we are, wake up to the love we give ourselves, and wake up to how the vibration we're putting out is attracting this stuff that is challenging to us, okay? So this is what this Taurus moon is coming in to tell us. And it's amazing, I mean, if we look at Taurus, okay, Taurus is the bull. It's there, it's steady, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to forge ahead, it just stands there, and in its kind of presence, you see its strength there as well. And it's, Taurus likes nice things. It's about quality and sensuality and things like this, but it's given them to ourselves as well. What things do we like that are nice? What is it that really it's quality matters, not quantity. Okay. And throughout this year, some of us will have realized that, quantity doesn't mean quality. It's like I say about Facebook. People go, oh yeah, I've got like 4,000 friends. And I'm like, really? How many of them could you call when you were in trouble? How many of them would be there? It's not about likes. It's about life. Okay. And when you're, oh, well, I've got 4,000 friends, that is actually lying to yourself, because fine well that, I'm not saying you personally, but fine well that they are not your friends. There's a little, you click a button and it says, I've got a new friend. That's how many times do them friends connect with you? How many times do you actually feel that level of friendship? And I've just had a beautiful conversation with a dear friend of mine who we haven't been in touch with for a long time. And today we've connected, and it's been like both of us had missed it, but life gets in the way. But knowing that that's still there, and this is it. It's about bringing in them connections, so that we feel connected as well. So this Taurus moon is telling us a lot about, there's a lot of closure. There's a lot of ends in it as well. But rather than seeing them as ends, seeing them as releases. When you release something, you let it go. You don't cut it off bluntly. You release it because it's time to. I talk about this in a way where it's like a shelf life. We all have a shelf life. When we, things have a shelf life. People have a shelf life. When we buy food, we can buy a beautiful cake from the store and we have a piece of it and it's in the fridge and we see it and it's beautiful. We leave it about 3-4 weeks and it's not beautiful anymore. So to cling on to that is starting to rot. And to cling on to that, it is then going to taint everything else in the fridge. So we need to realize that people and experiences and times of our lives all have shelf life as well. So it's time to, with this Taurus moon, it's time to release. Get closure. When we release something, we make way for better to come. And this is when we're going to reap the rewards. Now, we're coming up close to Christmas. That Joni Mitchell songs just came in my head there. I don't even know what it's called, but I love Joni Mitchell. I wished I could sing, because I could sing in these, and I could be the singing psychic, but definitely not. So if you think, right, most of you will have had your Christmas stuff, they're up in the loft, or they're down in the basement, or they're in a cupboard somewhere, and in a couple of weeks' time, you're going to be going and you're going to get them Christmas lights out. And them Christmas lights that you took all that time to put them together all nicely, they're going to be tangled. They're going to be tangled to fuck, right? And you're going to have to sit and unravel them. And this is exactly what we've been doing this year. This is what we've been doing. So if we see we're untangling aspects of ourselves in order to be free for the coming year, okay? Because this is it. This Taurus moon is grounding us. There's been so much spiritual energy going on. We're elevating, we really are. But what we've got to remember, okay, is yes, there's the 5D, the 6, the 7, the 8, whatever, but we don't live there. We live here in the 3D. We live here on Earth, okay? And what we need to do is bring the knowledge and wisdom from there to put into our human life, okay? Yes, I know we're spiritual beings having a human experience, but this is what we need to realize. We're having a human experience. This is why we're here, So we can't go up to the planet Zog or whatever and live there. We can't. One day it might be possible for us to do that, but at the moment we're having a human experience. So to try and take away the human out of us, we cannot do it. And this is what I believe true spirituality is. There's probably a lot of backlash I'll get for this, but it's like I say, it's being grounded. It's bringing the two together, and having our feet on the ground as well as having our head in the clouds, okay? So that is fine, but we need to stay grounded. If we're not grounded, we're going to float away, and floating away, you've got to come back to earth one time. And what happens is you usually come back to earth with a bump. Okay, so I hope this is making sense. And this is what this Taurus moon is actually coming. So we're going to get a little bit of a release, a rest, okay? If we're right there up there in the planet, we could come down with a sharp bump. So it could affect some people worse than others. But I feel a majority of us are going to kind of go, right, okay, now it is. I can actually release, because what happens as well is as we're on this spiritual journey, which every single one of us are, that's why you're here, there's so much information given, and it's, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to burn this incense, you've got to burn that incense, you've got to do this chant, and we don't know where we're at. And half of the time, the people that are telling us this don't know where they're at neither, or they do, and it's on that planet Zog or whatever it is. So this is about, making the most of our human experience, okay? This is what we signed up for, and this is what we need to do. We need to keep it real, okay? That's it, keeping it real. And the more we keep it real, the more we keep our feet on the ground, the more we are going to evolve. And this is true spirituality. We don't have to be up there in the heavens. That's where our higher self is. That's where we get the guidance from. But the guidance is given, and we bring it down to us, and we have these roots to the earth. So there's Father Sky and Mother Earth that we're connected to, and we are the middleman, okay? We're not up there with Father Sky. We're not down right into the core of the earth with Mother Earth. We are the middleman. We are in the middle. We are walking the human path, and we are mystics walking the human path. Okay, this is what we're getting. So right. So this is Taurus moon, everybody. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go quickly into the reading. So has anybody got any questions? Sorry, I wasn't reading there because I listened to them, and they always give me whatever they need. So right, okay. Lost the connection, Freaky, and the cool. Thank you for your time and insight. No problem. Thank you for being there and listening to it. Oh, you like my necklace? Yeah, I had to buy it the other day for myself. I really felt I had to buy it. It's powerful. Okay. Yeah, I mean, people there are talking about vampires and stuff like that. You know, if we have healthy boundaries up, they kind of get in. So I talked about this on the last video. You know, we kind of point the finger of blame at anybody because we allow or we attract whatever comes to us. Okay. And if we're not learning the lesson from that, then we are going to continue to get it. Okay. So yes, there are energy vampires there. You know, they are. But if we have clear boundaries, they can't get in. Okay, they can come knocking at the door, but we're not letting them in. Okay, so it's about taking responsibility. And this is one of the true things of spirituality, taking responsibility for your actions, for where you're at, for your feelings and everything like that. You know, this is what it's about. When we're pointing the finger of blame, there's three pointing back at us. Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't play the blame game. So if your hair looks a little lighter, I don't know. I did get some blonde put in the front, I think. I don't even have a hairdryer here. You know, I love it. I don't have an iron, a hairdryer, nothing. I live out in the middle of the country. Yeah, the moment we allow someone beyond our boundaries, we've trespassed against ourselves. Exactly. And boundaries, the people that we put boundaries up, and people will respect them. The ones that don't respect them are the ones that were benefiting from us having none. So they're the ones that are going to be upset about it. I have to stop smiling so much in public. People try to vamp. I really need to be tougher. Why? Why do you need to stop smiling? You need to stop smiling, but have boundaries. You know, smile. That is the greatest currency. Smiling at somebody can actually make their day. You know, you don't know how a smile can affect you. I've got a piece of art up there, which is a piece of art I done, and it's a photograph, and it says the smile is the beginning of love. You know, and this is where we're coming from. You know, we're coming from a loving place. Boundaries are coming from a loving place. Okay, if we don't have boundaries there, it's coming from a place of fear because we're frightened that we won't be accepted. You know, okay, people are drawn to it, but yes, you do need it. So don't stop being you for other people. This is what I'm trying to say. You know, don't stop being you for that, but smile at people, you know, and see how far you can let them in. You know, this is it. You know, smiling for somebody doesn't mean that they can come over and grab you and kiss you or whatever. But, you know, smiling at somebody might come over and have a conversation with you, you know, and you might have something to teach that person, or they might have something to learn from you, you know. But like I say, this is taking responsibility. If you feel like smiling,